Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the news. Hope you're excited to be here, excited as we are. So stay tuned. But first, the weather. Well, yeah, because you there's no audio because you jumped in without hitting the button.
Fantastic.
So you got. Let's go back to the beginning.
Good
morning. Good morning.
And Good welcome. Morning. Good morning, guys.
Dave checking in from Springfield.
Yeah.
64 with a high 76. Yeah, I can't believe you didn't.
I just pressed that one.
I mean, so sad. So sad. Good morning, 53, 62. Good morning, Dave. There again. Hi, Car Gift.
Hi.
Portugal's hot and wet.
Yeah.
Or hot and sunny. Whatever. Morning. What's up, everyone? Houston.
77.
Damn. Yeah. Brad, how you doing?
Brad.
Who texted you?
Paul.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I can't believe no one else picked up on that.
Well, probably right there we're going.
There's
no sound. There you go.
See? Can't hear y'all. So that was sad. So this is what happens, man. I step away for a second.
See?
So welcome to the news, everybody. And this is quiet, smooth morning. Hey, listen, it's like the last Friday before vacation. I got to be honest. I'm just happy to be here. Because it was, yeah. But 69 in Vermont. High of 89 in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
There's Amy. Hi, Amy. Good morning. Welcome to the show. I didn't read the name,
Okay.
so that was bad. That was my bad. So
yeah,
we'll just do this. There we go, and then we'll pull her out of here. In case you didn't know, we steal all our news from the fine folks at CE Outlook. Thank you, Amy. If you'd like to know more about the stories we're about to drop on you, or if you'd just like to see if there's something we didn't cover on because I didn't really want to, click the links in the description or head over to CE Outlook. You could jump ahead, because I just wait until Friday night and scour the page and get all the stories I want. I almost look forward. It's like I do look forward to it because it's like you were talking yesterday about the guy that just went to work for Alpine. And I'm assuming you saw that at CE Outlook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I specifically do not look at the site until Friday night because I don't want to be tainted. No tainted love. Anyways, links are in the description. Thank you guys for doing a wonderful job. Tennessee, too hot. Hi. 93 degrees in Ohio. Anyways, I was getting ready to see, for those of you guys that follow the Old Fashioned Podcast, Gary Bell, Maddie, the podcast I've been waiting for them to release, the Dave Fishman Rivera podcast. Whoa. Pull up the page. Go to CE Outlook.
Yeah, I saw it.
No, pull it up now because I didn't see that. It was on there last night. Yeah. I didn't ask you if you saw it. I said, could you pull up the page? Anyways, the Dave Fishman Rivera podcast, because it wasn't out last night. It wasn't up last night. She put it up this morning. There again, I checked last night at midnight, so it wasn't up. Dave Fishman Rivera, the Fishman podcast is up on their site. It's finally here. They recorded it back at MasterTech. Maddie's been busy, understandable. And so they finally have it. Give it a listen, because why not? It was a lot of fun. Let me go here. All right, hang on. I gotta go. I gotta do this. Breaking news. Oh my gosh! Here we go. Whoa. Hold on. All right. So this is breaking news. So, hey, what's up, Marklin? How's everybody doing? Okay. So
What's up, buddy?
Let's head over to here. Let's pop this up. Real-time news. Here we go. Pioneer sold to Car UX. Pioneer Corporation has been sold to Car UX, a Taiwanese-based maker of OEM smart cockpit solutions, for approximately $1.1 billion. Damn! Pioneer has been owned since 2019 by BPE Private Equity Fund, VI. Okay. EQT said it bolstered Pioneer's financial strength during that time with improved profit margins and cash flow, and it has positioned Pioneer for long-term growth. Don't know about that, but okay. Also, during the time, Pioneer returned to its roots and core competence in automotive sound, launching its new technology platform and securing large projects from domestic and overseas clients. And by that, I mean they went to cheap Chinese radios. Okay. As for the new buyer, Car UX, it is a subsidiary or panel supplier of Inox. I can't even pronounce that. Inoxlux. Car UX website is under construction, but its LinkedIn profile says, with more autonomous driving capabilities, new applications will come into the car applications. Wow. Okay. So there we go. Pioneer has been sold yet again. It is not, that is crazy. Taiwanese company. That ought to be at 1 Wow. I got to be honest. I didn't think it was worth that much. But there's got to be, I know they have a manufacturing side that we really don't get to hear about a lot. But who knows? This ought to be interesting. Personally, I feel that they just roll the company up aftermarket-wise. Like they just do away with all this aftermarket crap because I really don't. I think it's more of a hassle for them than anything. And I honestly don't. I look at it as the company that has been running it since 2019 has not done what they said and made a more a better product. They've actually diminished the product line to just cheap stuff. I mean, which I guess is cool. Dollar General, but that kind of, Pioneer would do well in Dollar General. Hopefully this new company changes that and maybe actually brings it back to its former glory where we all talked about it, but I doubt it. I look at it as more like if I owned Pioneer, I wouldn't even do aftermarket. I would just sell it to OEs, because they're just, and maybe this company will believe in profit. Oh, that would be fun, right? I saw a Pioneer ad on Facebook this morning and didn't realize they are selling their own version of an Android-based head unit. Yeah, exactly. I'm expecting to deliver the Pioneer Pro 12 sub today. It might be my first Pioneer product. My memory's fuzzy on that. There you go. Now, like, they are a speaker manufacturer, so I mean that is the one positive. I'm merely talking about electronics, but hey, whatever. That ought to be fun. Let's wait and see what we got. Let me do this just to bring it back, and then we'll go over here, and we'll go here, and I'm gonna do that. Okay. So, how are you, Fernando?
Fantastic, man.
Yeah, that was exciting. Ooh. Oh, yeah. See, they don't even own the DJ equipment anymore. They sold the DJ equipment. Like, all they have is 12 volt. Like, they sold the DJ, they sold the home. They just licensed the names. So, yeah. So it's not even them. So it's kind of sad. Anyways, you're good?
Yeah.
You ready for the day?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. How do you feel about boats?
About what?
Boats.
Boats.
You ever been fishing on a boat?
I'm
gonna take that as a no. So Icon is like a bass boat / flat boat manufacturer. They make the go fast boats that are really low to the water.
Okay.
Don't have a lot of room for speakers, but they just signed a deal with Klipsch to make to have Klipsch stereos put in their boats.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even realize like Klipsch was in the aftermarket or they're not in the aftermarket, but I didn't realize like they made that kind of stuff. What was the system in the Armada that we just did? Was that a Klipsch system?
I think so. Yeah.
I feel like it was too. Maybe that's a new thing for them. Just sidestep, just go from home to OE car, which, there again, I mean, that's what Bose did. So, I mean, I guess that's a path. Macintosh was in car, but now they're home. Yeah, there's a lot of those like Harman things that are just right to market. Don't tell my dad that. Yeah, yes, Sue put that up. No, honestly, I was looking at him and I was really honestly surprised that Sue's dad has never had one of these.
Really?
Oh my God, dude, they are sexy as hell. Little race boats with big engines off the back, which he's had plenty of in the past. But yeah, boats in a hole. Boats are just money pits. You throw money. Anyways, so if you're into this, it's there. It's cool. Man, I am not seeing well this morning. Let's just pull up the next story. Modus demo and audio. Okay, so really I put this story up is because a lot of you guys are into like the Modus and you're like, hey, I want to know more about Modus. That's the Tony D'Amore / Jason Digo's company that, they talk about their, like, these are the high-end AB class amplifiers, and they have the new voltage amplifiers for Teslas and stuff like that, up to 48 volts of input that you can run a 12 gauge wire to.
For boats.
They have boats, which will be with them in October. We'll be with them in October at the boat show here in Tampa. They're going to have the Tesla along with a big boat. That ought to be fun. But anyways, there's a bunch of videos up on Vimeo. And if you follow the links in the description to this, they have a bunch of training videos that the the guys over at CMA did. So
Mhm.
Ben and the crew. Lots of good information about Modus is there, along with some explanations on the car, the products, and stuff that they've been up to. And you guys have expressed a lot of curiosity about the company. So more or less, if you want to know more about Modus, definitely click the link in the description or head over to See Outlook and just follow into the Vimeo page where there's like a half dozen or so videos or more that talk about what's going on with the product line. So
Yeah.
I think that's important because I know a lot of guys have been asking about it. So, definitely want to check that out. Let me move this back up here. And then I saw that Modus car. Are the amps going to be CNC clear acrylic or just like one-off prototypes? So so this is where it's kind of fuzzy. According to Tony, the lined version like this are CNC'd prototypes, and that when they ship the ones for retail sales or consumer use, that this will be a clear acrylic. It won't have this cover. Now, that is always open to interpretation, meaning they might like this and keep it that way. I don't particularly care for this look. I liked the clear look of the smaller versions of this.
Mhm.
Would you agree?
I don't know. I think for what it is, for what Tony's always been, I like to see cover.
No, the
I don't
cover.
like to.
The cover is going to stay. What he's asking, see how it has these CNC lines.
Yeah.
So this, according to Tony, was just because this is a prototype thing. In the original version, this is going to be clear.
Yeah.
Like the little guys. It was perfectly clear.
Mhm.
So, and that's what he's asking. So according to Tony, this is just prototype.
I don't want to see a clear amplifier.
You don't want to see a clear amplifier?
Because like most of these, they're going to be on like expensive cars.
Right.
So I don't see an expensive car like.
Well, yeah, but the thing is they don't need a heatsink.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be some kind of a cover.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a cover. The heatsink is this square spot right here. So, the clear kind of adds to the mystique of the amplifier because there are no clear high-end amplifiers. Mm-hmm. And then you can see all the cool Tony work on the inside. Yeah. So, I don't know. Either way, to answer your question, these are supposed to be prototypes.
They're really cool. Yeah. Hey, Marty.
Hey, Marty. Hope you made it home safe.
Yeah.
Then another interesting story. Maxsonic launches price protection program. So for those of you guys don't know who Maxsonic is, that is your MB Quartz, Hyphonics, Lanzar, Autotech, that brand there. And for the last few years, and by that I mean like the last 10 years, it has just been hoarded out all over the place, which makes it good and bad. If you're looking for a somewhat classic name and you just don't want to spend a lot of money, you can find this stuff everywhere. I mean, from flea markets to guy in the corner to, hey, I got a tax ID card, and of course the internet, which of course has kind of hurt the business as time goes down the road. That business model always starts out great. Mm-hmm. Like, we're just selling tons of product, and you do it first. You sell a lot of product, but you're not controlling your own destiny because you're letting other people dictate how your product is being put out into the industry. So finally, they've decided that they should probably not do that because my guess is like anything else, sales are probably slowing down because now there's competition in that market space. And while they've turned around and you look and you see that nobody is with you anymore, and that becomes a problem. That's happened to great manufacturers. I mean, we've had this throughout the industry, throughout the years, that there's been manufacturers that do this. And it always ends at the same thing. They wake up one morning and they go, where's everybody? Where's all the guys with our flags? They're all gone because they can't support something that isn't going to keep the lights on for them or feed their family or, something like that. So you lose all your cheerleaders. So adding some price protection to it and programs and doing stuff like this, I hope this is real because there's been plenty of companies out there that have just kind of said this and never done anything with it, just to be like, hey, we're going to do this. And then people come back and they've never done it. So if this is something they're planning on doing, especially like the MB Court line, I mean, I feel like that is a shining gem in their lineup.
I thought that you already tried to do that. I remember what Chris Bennett was talking about.
Well, Chris Bennett was talking about they wanted to do it. I think it's taken this long to implement it.
Right.
Yeah,
'Cause I remember he was like,
we're going to do this.
We're going to do this, and
Yeah, well,
I'm
then,
trying to.
yeah. Well, apparently it takes at least 2 years.
Right.
And it's understandable. I mean, you also have to. There's a lot that has to go into this. Like, you have to look at.
Everybody has to be on board.
Well, not only that, you kind of have to look at your SKUs. You kind of have to look at what you're building. Like, you have to see, can we even do this? Because sometimes you can't. You want to, but there's nobody there. And it's like, so you gotta, Anyways, pretty awesome. I hope this works out for them. I'd love to see some of the glory that was their brands come back.
Yeah.
Because it is good product. It's just, if you're making $20 off of it, that's great for the occasional guy out of his garage. But for a retail store or, even an online retail store, you just can't make money off a product that's being given away. Instead of golden arches, they have blue arches. Yeah. So anyways, that'll be cool. That'll be interesting. New product news. ZZ2 ships Dizzy play screen replacement. Don't know if I care for the name. I kind of get what they're doing there. For those of you guys that have older BMWs that have that terrible screen sitting on top of the dash, and you'd like a semi replacement that is not necessarily, well, hey, it just does what it does. They offer this. Right now, the BMWs are going to be available, as well as they're going to work their way into Mercedes and all the other German cars. Because in Germany, or actually in Europe, this stuff is readily available all over the place. It's just, we don't sell as many of those cars here in the States to where it's something that we can get behind. Companies like ZZ2, RVDFL, they're importing these things and talking to the manufacturers and, usually upping the quality because they have their name on the line and they don't want to deal with service after service after service like a standard white box radio that you get off of some magical site for a certain amount of money. This is an expensive piece by expensive is relative. It retails for about $1,000, which to me seems, if it works, it's great. It's great value. I mean, if you put $1,000 into it and it actually does what it's supposed to do, it'll be worth it because that factory screen sucks. So if you have this type of vehicle, click the link, head over.
I mean, you can see in the background of the
that little tiny
right there,
screen.
little tiny black and
just yucky. So
not good at all. So,
now these do usually require some fun when it comes to installation. So
have you ever seen a video of these guys cutting the top of the dash?
Yeah. The guy with the black gloves.
Yes.
Yeah, Spanish dude.
They are actually in Spain. I think.
I was gonna say in Spain.
And they cut in that, and then
AKA Spanish dude. They put
Spanish guys are from Spain.
Yeah.
No way.
It's weird how that works. I know, right? They're Spanish. They're from Portugal.
But yes, exactly. That's. I feel that's how it is. That's fantastic.
Yeah, but this is just literally unbolt. I mean, we've done enough.
You replace
these weird kits that
the OEM screen. Yeah, I like it.
Every time we do one of these, I know I'm gonna have a bad day. It happens. Also, new product news: Garmin ships top-end Fusion deck. This was an interesting read, more so than the fact that Fusion has radios. And the reason why I found this an interesting read was there's a couple statements made that to me sound like bullshit. It's the only way to put it. The first thing is that the first statement that I thought was amusing by the manufacturer, aka Garmin, was like, yes, most marine applications are done with because they tell you that they own Garmin, Fusion, and JL Audio. And they say most of the applications have Fusion radios with JL speakers and amps. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, what? That's not a thing. Like that's so not a thing. Like, no, like that was inaccurate. I see that's the future, meaning that's the narrative that they want to start telling everyone is that JL is just going to be speakers and amps, and any control units they've had in the past are going to all fall into the Fusion category, which Fusion, I guess, will be their electronics.
So you don't think there's like...
No, man. JL guys were buying the JL piece. It's a full JL system. They're not putting Fusion. They're not putting Fusion radios in these things. They will now because that's just how it's going to go. But the statement they made is that Oh no, it is $1,000. It's not cheap. It's not. It's this. Don't confuse Fusion with Fusion car audio of the past. This is not. Is literally Garmin. No, Garmin bought the name, and Garmin has been having fun with it, and putting a ton of money into it to make it a much better product than it was ever by its previous owner. So it is. This is a very high quality radio.
Yeah.
Premium Wi-Fi streaming. I'm not picking on that. I just thought it was humorous when they were like, JL guys were buying the JL piece and putting JL stuff in their boat, or Garmin panels. But so there again, that is clearly the statement of the future is that if you're going to buy a Fusion controller with JL everything else.
Okay.
So that's just the way that's going. The other what did they say?
No, I think like according to Garmin,
yeah, which is fine. That's the narrative they're trying to tell. But that's not the truth.
That.
No, but it's not true. That's my point. Owners use Fusion and JL audio. No, that's JL had its own receivers. Okay, JL made their own receivers. People were putting in JL receivers. They were not using that. They will be now, but that's not how it went in the past. There's nobody that's buying JL audios putting a Fusion radio in a boat. You're putting a JL radio in the boat. Because think about it, you have to be a Fusion dealer and a JL audio dealer. And there were no Fusion dealers at all. They were all JL audio. It was two separate companies. These were not things that, okay, let me put it like this. Our buddy doesn't sell Fusion, and he puts in a ton JL audio. Okay? Every JL audio guy we know doesn't do Fusion. It's just a statement
They
don't.
Well, I mean, according to him, he puts a lot of high-end products,
That's right.
He doesn't put JL radios.
Right, but a lot of people were putting JL radios in boats. Either way, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Point is this is just a reflection of what the narrative is going to be going forward.
I think it's great if you want the best of the best for your boat, right? And all these guys that they buying Garmin,
yes,
they spend so much money.
No, I'm fine with the money. What I'm saying is the narrative that they're telling is the future narrative and not the previous narrative. Okay, so they're changing the narrative to suit what they want to happen going forward. So we're getting a glimpse of what Garmin wants the future to be. The Garmin wants.
How long has been the Garmin owns Fusion?
Oh, years. They bought it a long time ago. And there again, they were going up against JL Audio. Another statement that they said that I found amusing was, JL Audio is the best, followed by Fusion was a close number 2. And I'm like, I don't know if that statement is correct, because I think Wet Sounds might argue that point. Rockford might argue that point. Hell, even Kicker might even argue that point. But I don't see Fusion as being a close number 2 to JL Audio in any respect whatsoever.
Okay.
I mean, there again, it's all one company now, so just call it what it is. But I really didn't. I know nobody in this industry that puts Fusion in a boat. Yeah, I've never had. Oh yeah, did you guys put the most? No, it's always I put this in, I put that in. Fusion was never number 2 to JL Audio. So, and there again, This is the narrative that they're telling, which is fine. They might have great contracts with OE builders. And so there might be going like, OE, they might tell it from their perspective of like, hey, we have boat builders like the Icon boat builders putting Eclipse in. They might have tons of boat builders, and that's how they're looking at it as a number 2. And it's like, okay, that's cool. I understand that. And hey, you're the manufacturer. You can tell any narrative you want about your product.
For sure.
I just found it humorous, to say the least. Now, this piece, not to take anything away from this piece, because this piece looks badass. The other statement that they made that I thought was weird, and I can't comment on, but the question was, why do you guys not do CarPlay? And my answer, of course, would have been because it says CarPlay, not boat play. But, they gave the answer that the two just don't work together well. And I was like, okay. I mean, I don't see that, but I think it comes down to screen size.
So what they say is CarPlay doesn't translate to marine market like it does in cars.
Right.
There are limitations for displays and how the information is presented when you use CarPlay. So, yeah.
So, there again, It's the display size, display screens. They don't have the right sizes. But I mean, I feel like on a big Garmin panel, you could
but have you seen some of these?
Oh yeah, they're gigantic. Well, that's what I'm saying. On one of those big Garmin panels, you could literally put CarPlay in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
And I think it would be fine. Either way.
I'm surprised they haven't, released something like that you'll be able to change stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, without that being ado, if you're in a boat, which we're not, I guess it really doesn't matter. We are merely just talking about silliness that I thought was humorous.
Yeah. Boat play.
Yeah, exactly. Boat play. Have a great time, Car Gift. And the rest of you have a wonderful time also.
Yes.
There's a 50-50 chance there will be no show tomorrow.
Just stay tuned, I guess.
If we put up a link, there's a show. If we do not put up a link, there won't be a show. We're, going, vacation starts, and Paul informed us we'll be leaving early tomorrow. We don't know what time that might be, but I can tell you right now, if we get out of here at a reasonable time, we're hitting the road. So if we don't come on tomorrow, thank you guys so much. There will be videos next week. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get part 2 to the Dodge install of the audio control amplifier, as well as the next iteration, the next episode of the install diaries. Both of those will go up on their normal days. Monday, we'll have the Instagram retap. Tuesday, there obviously won't be because there'll be no show on Monday, so don't be that. But there'll be 3 shows next week, so it'll almost be like we're not gone. Almost, but we will be. But I wanted to make sure I got those up for you so you guys would have – I know how upset you get when we don't do it. So
early stream, like we say,
we're
maybe.
Yes. Yeah. There's a 50-50 chance. We're gonna see how it goes. I haven't packed yet. I need to pack. So,
bro, what are you doing?
I try. I started last night, but we might do an earlier stream. It just depends on what time we get out of here and what time we're done with what we have. So we'll see. There's always hope. There can always be hope. But we'd like to thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah.
Enjoy the weekend. Hopefully we will too.
Grab your umbrella if you are in this part of Florida because it rains all the time. And have fun.
But you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you later next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.